learned about it in November of 2023 that my son was getting paid from Alaska from some company that Paul and his family, I guess, invested in. The day Garrett was born, he had been getting like $10,000 every 3 to 4 months, and half of that was my son's money. And I wasn't even aware of this until about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Judge, there's only one agreement between the parties, and that is to child support, for current child support. The agreement is for there to be child support to be set to $0 as the child is receiving dividends through the Arctic Slope Regional Corporation.
I'm sorry, no, they're receiving dividends through a corporation? Is that what you said?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, I'm going to need testimony on that. I'm sure that warrants a deviation, but maybe it does.
Okay, Judge. That's fine.
Okay. And does everyone agree that this is your child, Mr. Caldwell and Ms. Proctor? You both agree that the AOP was signed and Garrett is both of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may continue, Ms. Petita.
Okay, Judge. Since of course my testimony on the agreed child support, Judge, I'll call the parties first. I'll call Ms. Proctor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Proctor, you previously identified yourself. You are the mother to the child in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Caldwell is the father of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. The child currently resides with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of conservatorship are you asking for the court?
Buckle up, guys. Today we are going to watch a custody hearing spiral around hidden dividend money and serious allegations of threats. The mother claims the child has been receiving large ASRC payments while the father was absent and allegedly abusive. The courtroom tension builds as child support is set to $0, raising bigger questions than anyone expects.
And he is not blocked or anything. Never.
Okay, as far as your phone number and address, are you asking the court to grant you a non-disclosure of your information today? I
would like that, yes.
Okay. Now, you said since 2022 you cut off communication with him. Since 2022, has he communicated with the child or seen the child?
He video called him about a month and a half ago because my son was having a fit to talk to him, and I'm not going to keep my son from talking to him because he is getting older, and I would like for him to have a relationship with him, but I just don't want the drugs and the threats. I'm still very uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
Especially because he's never been.
Allegations escalate fast as the mother details repeated threats, claims of drug involvement, and a long absence from the child's life. The judge repeatedly interrupts, forcing disciplined testimony after emotional outbursts. What starts as visitation talk turns into a credibility battle, with screenshots and accusations shaping the courtroom narrative.
Notifications on his thing because I wanted proof that he sells drugs, and it literally says that someone was trying to sell him an ounce of cocaine for $700 on his text messages that would pop up on the screen. I couldn't click on it or open it. I just took a picture of that, and I have the picture of that as well. But
okay, when is the last time that he saw your son in person?
On his birthday about 3 years ago. And it was for about 30-45 minutes until he was asked to leave because he body slammed my dog into the ground.
Okay, ma'am, if you could just listen to the questions and not give extra answers. It's very hard to follow when everything gets followed up with more information. And I know you want to share it all and you're happy to, you're excited that you're getting to tell your story and I want to hear it, but I lose a lot of it when people just explode information at me. So listen to the questions Ms. Petita will ask. At the end, you will get a chance to just talk. But right now, Ms. Petita is trained. She knows kind of what I need to hear. And if you just answer what she's asking, it'll get through to me a lot better.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate Ms. Petita.
Okay. Okay, so you said he last saw him about 3 years ago at his birthday. Before that, did he have any kind of regular visitation with him?
No, he has never had any kind of regular visitation.
Okay. So what kind of visitation are you asking the court to order today?
Preferably, I would like if he was in the safe visitation program for about 6 months, considering they don't know each other really. And then after that 6 months, maybe supervised by a family member or somebody close to both of us, that can mediate and be supervised visitations for like, maybe another 3 months, and then ease his way into having him every other weekend, because he is still young and I don't want him to be confused.
Okay. So are you
The discussion shifts into structured visitation plans, but emotional concerns dominate every answer. The mother pushes for supervised transitions, citing safety fears and instability. Meanwhile, early relationship history and separation timeline surface, alongside drug-related accusations that complicate every custody proposal.
now?
Did he do all the drugs and stuff when you were all together, or has that all been after separation?
It was going on while we were together, and that's what caused the separation, because I don't do stuff like that, and I don't agree with it. And he chose the drugs over his family, so.
Did he have supervised visitation with the baby after y'all separated? Did you do any kind of visitation?
My mom would let him see him here and there before he was about 2.5 years old. That stopped because that's whenever I got the threat that he was going to murder me and tell Garrett about it. And so I told my mom to stop letting him see Garrett because of that. And my mom had agreed with me. So when he would see Garrett, it was very vaguely, and it was with my mom. My mom would just ask, like, hey, is this okay? And I'd be like, yes, that's fine. Because there was nothing too serious going on at that time, but Garrett was barely 2.5 years old. And then he threatened to kill me, so we cut it off.
Okay. Did you hear me say to the court earlier that there was an agreement between you two for zero child support in exchange for your child receiving the dividends?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. Okay. Can you share what that means?
I am still kind of just learning about the dividend thing. I learned about it in November of 2023, that my son was getting paid from Alaska from some company that Paul and his family, I guess, invested in. I'm still trying to understand the whole thing. I don't fully understand it yet, but I found out about it because his ex-girlfriend told me about it, and turned out since the day Garrett was born, he had been getting like $10,000 every 3 to 4 months, and half of that was my son's money. And I wasn't even aware of this until about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And when I found out about it, I contacted the Arctic Slope Regional Corporation, and I informed them that I've had the child since he was born, and that these dividends of my child's are going to the wrong parent. And it took me about a year and a half, which would be about 3 months ago, to finally get Paul to sign over all the dividends to me. And
A financial storm takes over the hearing as child support, retroactive claims, and massive dividend payments enter the record. The father explains ASRC ownership rights in detail, framing the money as cultural and permanent entitlements. The judge pushes back on assumptions, questioning access, control, and whether age truly limits ownership.
Goes back till 6/12/2026.
yes, that's fine.
Judge, I pass this witness.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
Judge, I'll call Mr. Caldwell.
You may do so.
Mr. Caldwell, you identified yourself earlier. You're the father to the child that's before the court today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you heard what I explained to the court earlier, that you all are in agreement for zero child support going forward, because your child is receiving dividends from the ASRC, correct?
Yes, correct.
Can you explain to the court what that means?
Arctic Slope Regional Corporation is a corporation of the native people of the North Slope villages in Alaska, and it's a oil consulting company because we, as the people of the North Slope of Alaska, own the rights to the minerals and the land. So as reparations from the U.S. government, we have the ownership rights to the minerals and the land. And so oil is the main commodity of our land. So we're mainly based in oil consulting and oil connection companies. So the shares that each person is allotted is based on their blood quantum. And Garrett is 1/16th Native Alaskan, and that comes from my bloodline, and that's how he was eligible to get those shares. And he is not able to sell them or trade them or give them off to anybody. Those are his shares. And she has temporary custodialship of his ASRC portal. So that's his shareholding profile. But she doesn't have the rights to his shares because those were his birthrights. That's what our reparations from the U.S. government are for coming and infringing on our land. So we get the rights, and that's with the rights for the minerals. Then we work with other companies and corporations that pay us to come onto our land.
Okay. And so those dividends are your son's birthrights. Is it a lifetime benefit?
Yes, they do not diminish, and they can never be sold or given away or transferred to anyone unless he dies. And then even then, they can only be transferred to next of kin or distributed amongst other shareholders that already are in the shareholder pool or qualify for the blood quantum to enter the shareholder pool.
Okay. And your son, being a minor, he's entitled to use those funds, or his custodian is, like Ms. Proctor, she's able to access them, or are they supposed to be
only
held
under the
for him?
premise? Only under the premise that you need to be an adult to operate a bank account. Otherwise, the ASRC portal itself will house all of the portfolio for his shareholding. So all of the profit and information that goes along with him being a shareholder, because technically he has a seat on the board, but that's a whole nother conundrum.
I question something. So you began that with that you need to be an adult to operate a bank account, and that's not really true. Like there's all sorts of children accounts, and then I remember when I was growing up, I worked when I was like 16, 15 and had my own account. And I guess technically, I don't know, maybe my parents were somewhat in charge of it, but you certainly can have an account as a child with money going into it.
Well, then he's, I'm sorry.
Like, so does that change your answer, or is it still like it needs to go to an adult because he's underage?
No, I mean, if Garrett could walk into a bank right now and open an account, then he could get those dividends transferred over to his name, and then he could rightfully hold all power to his ASRC portfolio.
Okay.
He's not restricted by any age limit for ownership, but those are his shares. Those are his. It's just a matter of who has access to the portfolio to address where the money is being allotted. So the dividend would be like direct deposited to her account or to Garrett's account if Garrett had his own account.
So does Miss Proctor having access to his portal remove his own access to the portal?
No, he can go in person and prove his identity, which he would have to go all the way up to Barrow, Alaska. But he himself can also call in and prove his identity over the phone of, his social, and having set up the account and getting the information from the account, then he would be able to solely take over all control and ownership of his portal. Like I said, he's not restricted by any means whatsoever. It's his money. It's just a matter of, well, he's 7 years old. He doesn't have the real...
Custody tensions peak as both parents push opposing visitation plans, revealing deep distrust and conflicting narratives about control and access. The judge steps in to shut down confusion, emphasizes legal preparation, and ultimately resets the case for attorneys. What began as a custody dispute ends in procedural pause rather than resolution. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
Since April.
No, it haven't really had any communication with him because of Ariel. She like purposely keeps me out of his life so that way she can make it look like I'm not in his life.
Okay. So if the court orders visitation today, what kind of visitation schedule would you like with your son?
If I could have it set up for, the court's understanding and there not be any understanding or misunderstanding, I should say alternating weekends for 6 months and then every weekend for 6 months and see how that goes.
Okay. Do you okay. Are you in agreement for any of those visits to be supervised?
Preferably not. I mean, I don't have a problem with them being supervised by like a cop or someone, but I don't want Ariel there supervising me. I don't mind if it's someone else, but I don't want Ariel infringing on me and my son's time.
So you're in agreement for supervised visits so long as they're not supervised by Ms. Proctor?
Yes, I'm going forward to not be supervised whatsoever.
Okay. Okay.
Can you flesh that out more? Because unless someone's paying for a police officer, they don't offer that service.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not a verbal proposal because I can't.
Are you willing to pay for supervised visitation in like a public place like that, or are you requesting for visitation to be supervised by a family member or another trusted individual?
Trusted individual.
Do you have a person in mind?
Not currently at the moment that I feel 100% comfortable with. So I was informed of this meeting last night at 8:43 p.m.
Okay, before we proceed much further, there's a lot of big issues in this case, really big issues, from everything from child support to back to the visitation to some very serious allegations. And it looks like nobody was even served before they got here today. Are you all ready to proceed with this? Is anyone considering calling a lawyer, maybe having representation? Yes, ma'am.
I've been waiting to speak. Actually, after hearing
witness stand first, so it's not. I'm letting people speak. But okay. Yes, ma'am.
After hearing what he had to say, that was just crazy because he can see his son if he takes a drug test. I've told him that for years now. All I did was say, take a hair test. I will pay for it.
No, ma'am, this is not a negotiation right now. This was the AG's office presented this to me as if it was a hearing. So my question to y'all is, no one was served before today. Is anyone considering contacting?
I need an attorney.
Okay.
I need an attorney. Yeah, because it looks like this isn't going to get anywhere. I'm not agreeing to joint custody at all.
Ma'am, this is not a negotiation. No one's asking anyone to agree to anything at this point.
Oh, okay.
This is a trial. You're in court. I don't know how to make it clearer. This is a courtroom. And I think I said that in the beginning, and I'm the judge, and I'm listening to evidence to make a ruling right now. But I'm also aware that it appears nobody had this pleading before today. Is that true?
I've known about this for 3 months, and he's known about it for 3 months.
That I don't think anyone had copies of pleadings because nobody was served with paperwork. This is our third setting in this case, believe it or not. But I don't believe anyone showed at the previous settings. But let me check and make sure that's actually true.
I got the email saying that I had court today.
Okay, so you were present in November. I'm not sure who was present in November.
This is Mr. Caldwell's first setting.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you, ma'am. I'm just stating a fact. It's his first appearance in this case. So whether or not he's known about it for 3 months, I don't think anyone got in deep with the issues in the case with either of you before today, is my point.
Yeah.
So this is not a debate. This is not a negotiation. I'm merely asking, are you all ready to proceed today? Because there's a lot of issues here. I don't even know that. I think you all need to research more and brief this child support issue, never mind the other issues, which almost make that pale in comparison. So are people ready to proceed today? Are you all thinking about consulting lawyers?
I think I need to consult my attorney or an attorney because after everything I just heard, it's going to be a fight. So I think I do need to go a step further.
Okay. Okay, why don't we reset this case to later in the summer and give everyone a chance to consult lawyers and think about this and think about what's going on with knowledge of what this is now. June 11th. Maybe one of the August dates.
Yes, Judge.
Probably not during advanced because if people hire lawyers, lawyers could be an advanced family.
Oh, okay, Judge. Judge, just for clarification though, Miss Proctor, you lost connectivity.